Now, newsman Dennis Daly presents his unique look at current events in another of his wide-ranging daily video blogs.
Hi, and thanks again, everybody. Behind me is a pretty important bridge. It's north of Palm Springs. Over there is Interstate 10, but for decades this was the only way to get from LA to points east through this part of California. But imagine what it was like before this bridge was built. People had to ford the river, and I don't mean driving a ford. I mean driving down into the Whitewater Wash. But all of that changed when this amazing bridge was built back in the early mid-1920s. I talked to highway historian John Hoffman about the importance of this bridge to early transportation.
Well, many years ago, about 700 cars in a weekend would cross this bridge. But now over on I-10, many thousands more cross that on a daily basis.
In 1926, this bridge was signed as a bridge for US 60, 70, and 99. But when it was built, it was the bridge not to the Coachella Valley where we are, but to California's Imperial Valley.
Many years ago, much produce was shipped across this bridge from the Imperial Valley to Los Angeles. That's why it bears the name of the valley.
And one of the really neat things about walking across this bridge is that you're really walking back into history. For this is a classic example of a beautiful bridge that is isolated to the point that it's still pretty well preserved. And it was really isolated back in the 20s and 30s. See the bridge in the foreground? This red line will show you where the road used to go when it went down through the wash. But by the 1950s, a shortcut of sorts would be built when the new highway came through. But why didn't it follow the old alignment? Well, it leaves the old alignment at point A and returns at point B, and right in the middle is the new I-10 bridge. You see how wide it is? But look at the old alignment. The wash was more narrow there. So in the 20s, it made more sense to swing north and cross it there. But the new road just hops across the desert for a mile or so. Back in the old days, this was an oasis out here. There were a couple of gas stations in the area affording travelers the services they needed. And just imagine seeing lights at night, thinking, wow, I finally found a place to stop. In a way, it's a blessing in disguise that so few people know this bridge is here. That's why it's in such good shape, decades and decades after it was decommissioned with the coming of Interstate 10, just over there. I'm Dennis Daly with your Daily News Update.